and they can look at your body and they can detect that there are lesions, there are tumors, there are things going wrong in the body. These psychiatric illnesses, these alleged psychiatric illnesses, none of that exists. They're not doing brain scans. They're not looking at anything. It's just based on what you're telling them. Which means that anybody who wants to get any psychiatric drug can get it. Doctors would rather prescribe those drugs than tell patients the truth about their depression and how to deal with it. I can say that in my personal life, and this is anecdotal, but it's all anecdotal, okay? Everything is based on anecdotes. The diagnostic criteria is based on stories about what's going on with that. Well, that's what all this is. So, say it's how many people who take antidepressants, and in almost every case, there are very obvious things in their lives. Plus, any person being depressed, in almost every case, I can look at their life and say, well, yeah, body.
Yo.
No Diddy. What's up, gang? I said 5 minutes, but it was a little longer. My B. Let's wait on this hourly closure just to be safe. We don't have a bottom wick on this hourly. We're respecting all these levels of resistance here. So, we're actually closing above on XAU. What up, G? How are you, people? What's up, Jay, Bougie, Spaceman, Lost, First One? What up, Chamo, George? How are you, brother? Good morning. It's good night for me, dog. Nick, how are you? Jay Good, what's up, brother? Virtue Tribe. Yes, sir. Jay is killing it, dude. Music is a bit too loud. Ah, shit. $367 pips. Savagery at its finest. I had a 30 pip session for NY. This week was slow for me. Monday 50 pips, Tuesday 80 pips, and today so far 30 pips. Jay, you're on a beautiful streak, my man. So cool. If we look at the 15-minute time frame, we're starting to close above all these levels, right? We're starting to close above here on the 15-minute time frame. We're getting... It's actually respecting here. So we got to be very careful here. We need a bottom wick for the daily. We started driving up market open. We gapped up, actually. And now we're hitting a nice area of resistance. It's not an hourly resistance, but it's a 30 and a 15-minute level resistance, so it's, I would say it's like medium. True, 2,300 pips in 11 days. Been withdrawing weekly and buying a shit ton of stuff for the baby. That's exactly what you're supposed to do, bro. That's exactly what you're supposed to do.
Good evening, Eddie. Yeah, I mean, baby's not even here and I already spent 10,000 euros.
Yeah, bro. That's good, bro.
And there's more stuff. Yeah,
what else are you gonna spend it on? Bullshit? Nah, my baby.
No. It's not full. No. I'm getting all of the stuff for the baby. The crib, I got everything. I got the cleaning table. I got the stroller. The nice stuff, the good shit.
It's your first baby? It's your first child?
Yeah, it'll be my first.
One thing I recommend that I just got it from my friend's baby shower. He has twins. He just had twins. Okay. It's a little machine. They sell it at Target here, which is the good version. The cheaper versions, if it's not that brand from Target, the sound quality isn't the same. But it's like a white noise machine where it helps them fall asleep. And he says that shit works fucking wonders.
Yeah, I just bought an actual camera system with 2 cameras, and it actually has music on it. It has
Nice.
10 settings. One of them is that. I also bought the sitting chair that rocks them, electronic with the remote. I
Yep.
just set it up today. Yeah, man, everything is high tech. I'm getting. And, so, yeah, I'm doing everything I need to, 100%, every single level. And it's a girl, so a shit ton of clothing, bro. My girlfriend's just like, oh, let's get this and let's get that. And then she has an Amazon list on it, it's like 1,000. There's another list, another 1,000. I go, what the fuck? She goes, yeah, but I need this and she needs that. And I was like, bro, it's baby clothes. She goes, yeah, and it's actually really expensive. So we got clothing from 0 to 3 months, clothing from 3 months to 6 months. I bought diapers for an entire year. I bought for her as well all of what she needs. The clothing for the hospital. It's gonna cost me as well about 6,000 euros.
All that is tax free here in Florida. So if you spend 10,000 in Florida, you would have a 7% tax. So that's 700 bucks you would save by being in Florida.
Oh no, the tax is already included. VAT is already included in everything that I purchased. It's not added on top. That's how it works in Europe.
How are taxes there?
Whatever price you see, it's already included. There's nothing extra to pay.
That's how it is in some stores here. Not like major stores, but like most smaller grocery stores in my area, they all put price with tax and everything included. I literally just noticed the other day.
Yeah, it's smarter. People then, they can plan accordingly. But obviously, it's odd for me because I have to make sure I'm checking properly. Obviously, adding tax in the States and where else.
Yeah, I was
Yeah, Europe included.
my bill came out to like 15 bucks, and I'm like, ah, shit, with taxes, I'm probably gonna have to pull out this 20. And then the lady's like, oh no, it's 14.90, and I'm like, oh shit, cool.
Yeah. I mean, here stuff is like $29.99, and then they give you a penny back. Like it's actually worth something. You add up, and it just adds on and adds on. So I mean, it's a very strong currency, so the penny is worth it. So keep it worth it. And I just add it on, and I use it for the tips.
Bougie, how does that work? I feel like if I sleep with any kind of noise, I won't be able to sleep.
Sorry for sleeping with what?
With rain sounds.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I don't use white noise, but I think it'll be fine for the baby. It'll come from the camera. The camera is hold on, the camera just closed.
What up, Jonathan? How are you, brother? Holy shit, hourly just closed, but we're still respecting these levels. The 15-minute close with barely a top wick. What are we gonna do? Are we gonna just drive up the whole Asian session? We're near all-time highs already. I keep forgetting that. I'm almost like used to trading all-time highs. I'm not even recognizing that. I've got 2 girls. When my first came, she changed my life. It's amazing having a girl as a father. Both of mine are big-time daddy's girls, 100%. I'm excited for you, Jay. Welcome to the Girl Dad Club. Hell yeah. My goal is to have a baby next year. And start that process, brother. Lamborghini? What the fuck I need that shit for? My kid needs a stroller. A Lamborghini stroller. Like, I have a few friends of mine that are young and rich and very successful, and I see that lifestyle, and it used to intrigue me so much. But then I see like Wix and like Ike, where they're withdrawing their money and they're spending it on their kids and going out with their kids and posting about their kids. I'm like, damn, bro, I'm much more jealous of that kind of lifestyle than the Lamborghini fancy dinner lifestyle. What's Gucci gang? So, sells here don't look bad because of the way that we're respecting here. This hourly needs a bottom wick on the previous hourly, right? We have no top wick on this hourly, but where are we rejecting off of? we just broke the highs, and now I would have to see us like really start to come back into range to target that hourly bottom wick. Because even if we do come down, this is such a strong level, I feel like right now, that price might just bounce off and continue to all-time highs. I think I'm ready though, Jay. I'm 28. I've been with my girl for 8 years, since we were teens.
Yeah, but being ready and actually getting things done is a little different. The man.
Well, that's why I was saying like next year, because like I'll have the time 100%, and I'll have the money. So with time and money, all I need is to just have the right mentality, and I think I'll be Gucci.
You shouldn't be working at the other job while you're doing the trading. If you're gonna have a family, you should only be doing one that supports and has enough to be able to pay for everything on your own.
Well, that's the goal by the end of next year. If I'm making enough trading where I don't need my main job, then I will. It's still a family company, and I have a big role to play. But my role doesn't need to be in the field anymore by the end of next year. My role is an office role. So right now, my uncle just had a baby. He's 55 and he just had a baby. My cousin has 2, and then I'll be joining next year. And then at our warehouse in the morning, his wife comes, my uncle's wife comes, and they just sit there and they take care of the kids in the morning while my uncle and my cousin are at the office.
I mean, I wouldn't recommend for a man to have children before 32, because financially we're not usually there yet. Mentally, we haven't finished, fucking around doing all our shit, and I don't think it's wise, and it's important to obviously also plan it. I mean, you've been with your girl 8 years, doesn't really make a difference with you. If you've been with somebody 8 years or not, it's about your age and where you are financially in life. If you don't have 100 grand or 150 grand in the bank and making at least that trading, you're not ready for a family, to be honest with you. It's not going to be fair because the world is extremely expensive today. I mean, seriously expensive.
I agree. Unless you want to struggle, yeah, I agree.
No, I mean, you're going to struggle, buddy. If you have kids before you're 30, unless you're a multimillionaire crypto or some shit like that, but it's going to be a little more difficult. And I'm having my first kid. I'm 44, and I've been wanting to have kids since I was 35 or 34, but I'm not going to just say, okay, I'm ready to have kids, let me go ahead and do it. Bro, I needed to get my shit together, work my ass off on everything I had to do, and that way now I don't have to work, and the money that I make from my dividends and from my real estate.
Yeah, so I gave myself a time limit, and so far I think I'm on track. I needed to get some shit done, I needed to get some debt paid off, I needed to get some shit rolling, and I did so. So I think I'm good by 29.
You shouldn't have any debt at all if you're gonna have a family.
No, that was my goal. By the end of this year, I should be debt free except for my mortgage.
You should even also get rid of your mortgage, and I recommend that when you pay your mortgage, to pay it down a little faster. You're going to be paying your monthly mortgage normally, but every 2 weeks you need to send a check or whatever payment you're going to send to the bank and say, apply this to the actual capital only. You're going to pay off your mortgage in half the time or less than that. So you have to write that. So whatever the amount of mortgage that you pay, let's say you pay $2,000 a month, every 2 weeks send another $2K and say apply that to the capital only. It'll lower the actual capital instead of you paying most of the interest. Because the
first like maybe 10 years. Like, let's say you're paying $1,000 mortgage, only like maybe 300 of that is going towards your principal.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. So if you do that, there should not be a single penalty for you to pay your mortgage faster, and you should check your mortgage contract. But you should not have any issue, and you'll pay that down so much faster. That's insane, and you're gonna save a shit ton of money. So
I didn't do that. I haven't done that with my mortgage, which I probably should. But I did that with my car, and I'll probably be done by the end of the year with that, and then I can throw another $600-700 to that. So that's a good idea.
Yeah, and also if you don't, if you want to do that, you can also look into trading and investing into another property. So if you have enough equity into your property, grab a refi, get the lowest rate that you can, which rate should be coming down, and use the amount of money that you have to put down 10% to 15% on 2 or 3 properties, and then have them rented out. Make sure that they are turnkey so that if you break your head and have a management company handle them to be able to get Airbnb to promote that. As long as you have the license, so make sure you do all the verifications, the city that you're in. You could actually make money if it makes sense. If you're able to get the license, if you need one, and then from there get that money from the rentals coming in. That way you don't have to break your head on anything else. And in Florida, so you're definitely going to be making money from that all year round. That's what I recommend. So if you have, let's say, 100K in equity, refi that. They'll give you about 70 to 75% of the value. So you get maybe 75K. Use about 25 or something like that, 20 to 25 per property on investment of, let's say, 100 grand per property, and then you can get mortgages for both of those if you have good credit. And keep the other 25 for just in case backup stuff, repairs or anything like that, and then have them rented out. I don't know, $50, $100 a night, something like that. You might make 2-3 grand a night from that. Pay off the mortgage with that and bonus, and then do the extra payment as well, and then lower the actual payment so that it's going to come down very quickly, and you're going to pay that off. So then you're going to have that money, and then from the trading, use that to pay the extra mortgage that you're living at where you are right now. That's the way you got to do it, and then within 4 to 5 years, you'll be debt free, and you'll have 3, 4, 5 properties where you're going to be able to have rentals coming in on their own, and you pay the management company 10 to 15%, 20%, depending on how much they do from A to Z. And you just have to account with that extra 25K, maybe use part of that to be able to furnish the property so that you can have something nice for the Airbnb. That's the way you got to do it. That's the way I did it for a long time, and I just don't even have to worry about shit anymore. That is the idea. Owning a house is not an investment like people think. It used to be back in the day, but today it's not, because you have to assume that within 20 to 30 years that the value of your house will be worth more. Most likely it can be, but the amount of interest that you paid over time, you are not actually profitable in the end.
Yeah, right.
I don't understand that.
If you, for example, if you buy a house that's worth 300,000, or let's say you bought a house and you bought it for 100,000, it's now worth 300,000. You have 200 grand in equity. In 30 years, that house is most likely not going to be worth $1 million. 1.3. It's most likely not. The chances of that happening is almost zero. Maybe it'll go up another 50%. Maybe your house will be worth 600,000. You know? But if you took that same 200K equity and just put it in the market and let it sit there for the same 30 years, you'll have multi-millions of dollars in comparison with today's prices. You know, it's just insane. You have to use your equity for something. You have to use it.
Let me tell you one thing. I agree with you, and it doesn't take that much for you to make that much money. I've done a lot of research, and I have some investments as well. If you have enough money to invest, 50K or 100K, something like that, within 30 years of compounding, and within specific companies that give you high dividends, so they're dividend kings that you can invest in, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, and things like that. These are companies that have high dividend returns, but it all starts as of the 10th year. So you would leave that money in there and then click reinvest dividends. After 30 years, you've got $1 million, $2 million, and then it brings you the actual dividend per year at a very high return. So you can get quite a bit of amount of money from that. The idea is obviously to live off those. So you would not touch those. You pay taxes on them per year because it is an actual profit. So if you invest one-time profit for let's say 30 years, or you invested one time, and in specific companies that have invested in, which there are 10 of them, NVIDIA, for example, 3M, Ecolab, Pepsi, T. Rowe Price, Costco, JP Morgan, AbbVie, Visa, and Synthesis. These are the companies I invested in as an example. If you put in only 10K one-time investment and reinvest the dividends, in 30 years you have almost 600,000, and then it'll pay you 70,000 yearly dividend. But if you put down 50K, you'll have 2.8 million in 30 years with an annual dividend of 350,000, which is 30K a month in dividends. That's how you make your money. You make that money on the dividends, but your actual profit that you have from the capital invested at 50K has grown to 2.8 million. You don't have to touch that. You can just withdraw the 350,000 of dividends. You still have that 2.8 million. So if you put in 100K at one time, then you'd have 5.6 million in 30 years. And then 700,000 in in dividends annually, which is almost 60K a month. So that's how you make your actual
See,
money.
and people are like, oh, how do I flip? How do I make 10K? How do I do this? How do that? You invest in secure things. You have a skill that brings you a high income, and you use that to invest it into these secure avenues, like real estate, in the stock market, index funds. If you want to be super safe, like the the S&P 500, the Vanguard one, that's been returning 15% for the last fucking 30 years. And the last 3 years, it's done 24%. So if you would have started, you said, let's say you had a big chunk of change, you would have started 3 years ago, your account would be up 50% in 3 years, just off an index fund, you not doing absolutely nothing. So that's where you park your big money. Like my uncle just built a house. I think he spent in total like 450, and I think it's appraised over like $1 million right now. It's 3,500 square feet, and with the builders that he used and everybody that he used and the plans that he used, I now have literally a plan, the materials, the builder, the cost, the price, and everything for me to build my own house just like that. But my idea was to divide it and make it into a duplex, because with a 450K investment, a 3,500 square foot duplex, that's insane. That's like 3K a month rent on just one side, and that pays 90% of the mortgage if I put 10% down payment or 20% down. So that makes me living almost free. And if I take that and rent that out, that's several thousand profit a month off renting the whole place out.
The idea, obviously, for Vanguard, I have also investments in those, and those are the actual ETFs themselves, and I invest in 6 of them specifically. They all touch different areas of the actual market. I mean, they control the world, BlackRock, Vanguard, and so on and so forth. So you're going to make money from it, might as well. There's a lot of money that you can make from that, and you don't need to spend that much. An ETF is obviously a little riskier, but the amount of return that you get is very profitable because they are shown to have been very profitable over time. So yes, you would want to invest in things like that. The amount of money that you can return from it is very huge. But if you want to make 10K, 20K, you can definitely do that investing in ETFs that do pay you monthly as well, because a lot of the ETFs that exist out there will be in real estate, and then they will pay you a dividend based on what they collect from the actual rental. So there are massive, big companies that do this out there. I'm going to give you all my secrets of the companies I invest in, but that just gives you a rough idea as to what it can be.
You taking notes, chat?
Yeah.
Because
when it comes to that,
this is real game, not these fuckers that say, look, you got to take out 25 credit cards, liquidate them all, you get 25K, and we're going to open you up an Amazon store.
I mean, there are ways to make money that way too, but it just takes a lot more effort. I used to have an Amazon store, and it took a shit ton of my time, a lot of effort, and it wasn't worth it for the 10K.
And your initial investment was probably a shit ton of fucking money.
It was 50K, yeah. So.
And then 6 months in, you finally make your money back, and then there's an issue with your store, and they shut down your sales, and you're like, what the?
Yeah, it happened to me actually. It got shut down because of packaging being sent directly from the manufacturer instead of using the Amazon boxes. It was being repackaged incorrectly, and then so.
Did you see the scam in Miami with the Amazon stores? That people were using it to launder money, and they were sending fake packages to fake addresses. So they would send up an envelope somebody would be in an actual packaging center, and they would package an envelope, put a fake address, and just mail a fake empty envelope, and that would be counted as a sale for Amazon, and they would launder the money through payment systems. They would open up payment systems under everybody's name because they needed to like charge fake credit cards, I guess, through these payment systems. And they would open up payment systems under everybody's like, oh yeah, give me 50K, I'll open you up a store. And then they start giving you some money back through the payment systems, and they're collecting obviously their illegal money.
That's insane. No, but that's smart though. But it's insane. No, I never.
The guys kept getting banned across all the payment systems because they were using fake credit cards for their money. And they're like, you know what? Let me just open fake Amazon stores. We'll pretend like your store is making you money. We'll do the fake shipments and everything, and I'll give you a little percentage as long as I can launder my money under your name. The store will end up breaking even. I won't lose any money. You'll think that, oh shit, it just broke even. I'm one of the unlucky ones, and you'll move on with your day. You don't lose no money. And that's how it was rolling for a long time. All you did was lose 6 months of your time, and eventually you made a little bit of your money back. Maybe you lost a little bit, and they laundered under your name.
mean, there's a lot of scams out there. People steal a lot, but there are a lot of ways to make money, and obviously the market is one good way. And you just got to understand where you're investing and what you're investing in. And a lot of people who have no money say, well, I've got no money, I've got no money. Yeah, I was there too. I had to work my fucking ass off. You know, lost a shit ton of money in the market in '08. Had to rebuild it after that. And everybody's been in that situation, but get a job, fund it, live a minimalistically, like live in a cardboard box if you have to, and save all your money and do what you have to. Don't try to show off what you don't have now. And then from there, build. And that's what I did. And it took years.
You hear that?
So,
and nobody wants to hear that. Oh, live a minimalistic life, and they're like, oh, but I wanna go out and I wanna have fun and I wanna enjoy my youth and I'm only young once. And
yeah, only women say that shit because they can find a guy that takes care of them, but ain't no woman gonna take care of a guy. So
like,
I don't give a shit what you say. Guy's gotta have to work his ass off.
like the majority of a man's life, you're supposed to be working and getting shit done.
Yep, 8 hours a week at least.
If you're not working and getting shit done and accomplishing things as a man, then what value are you bringing to the world? What are you going, you're the guy that goes to the club and spends $200 on a bottle? What value is that? There's no value in that. How many times have you been to the club, spent money on the bottles? Do you remember the 47th time you've been to the club? No, because you've been 3,000 times. So what's the difference from 3001 to the 2000th time? Or the 1000th? So why did you have to go all those thousands of times, spent a decade partying, and now it's time to grind down and settle down? If you did that already and you're just now buckling down and trying to figure shit out, it's never too late to figure your life out, right? But if you're super young, you need to cut that shit out and start grinding, bro. There's always time to party, bro. There's always time.
Yeah, I mean,
one weekend every couple of months or every month, bro, that's not gonna deter you from your goals. But every weekend, bro, every Friday your friends hit you up, every Saturday you're going out, every Sunday you're going out.
Nah, I go to church on Sunday mornings. I'm up early. I relax on the weekends or go and buy a ton of stuff for the baby. But I spend time with the family, close people that I'm with. That's the goal. And then during the week, I work my ass off. Doesn't matter what age I am. I'm never gonna stop working until the day I die. Because then your brain rots, right? It's worth it. And when you're young, when you're 18 to 25, you should be working 80 hours a week, man, building yourself, racking in all the money, find 2-3 jobs or whatever the hell it takes.
Developing your skills, bro.
Build enough money, invest. Yeah, I mean, it's not rocket science. It's something that's a simple process, but you got to be able to willing to do it. Not many people are willing to do it, and this is why they stay broke. They are just gonna say, oh, I wish, oh, they're so lucky, oh, this and that. Oh, get your shut up. I'm not lucky. I work my goddamn ass off to get to where I am today. That's why I have the accounts that I have. That's why I make the amount of money that I make. But I'm not gonna look down on them, yo. I'm gonna tell them, yo, this is how I did it. I worked my butt off. You have to do the same thing. Just make sure you find the right people, and obviously you're in the right group with us here to teach you how to do the trading to help you boost that. And then from there, grow. But you can't be slacking off, and you can't be over trading. You can't be blasting all your money everywhere. You can't be saying, oh, I made 10K this month or 20K. I'm going to go buy myself a car. Bro, fuck that, man. What the hell are you talking about? Right? Makes no sense. It's bullshit. Save all your money. Invest it properly. Invest it in your future. Then, when you've got $500,000, then you can say, all right, I'm going to buy myself a car. Otherwise, buy yourself a beater for $2 grand, $3 grand. Who gives a shit? If a girl doesn't want you because of the car, then she's not the right girl for you. You just move on. Once you got that money, you're going to have girls coming to you and saying, God damn, papacito. You know what I mean? They're going to want that because you're going to be the rare person. You're going to be the trophy that most women are going to want to be with. But if you're broke, ain't no girl's going to want to be with you, right? So you're going to be floating around, you're going to be a chubby chaser. You're going to be going after the chubby girls just to get whatever you can. And then instead of, being the right person. So then instead of being with the right girl, if you're going to be with one girl, you can have multiple if you want, but just don't lie about it. But
I'm gonna have a buy stop here on the break of that high.
When you've built yourself, that's what makes you.
I'm gonna have a buy stop.
That's what makes you become the man that you need to be.
Yeah, for 100%. It's your younger days are for you to develop who you're gonna be, so that when the day comes where you're making money. That activated me. It's the 5 minute? No, that's the 1 minute money printer. We just broke the daily highs again. What's up, Hank? How are you, bro? What's up, Tommy? No drip. Don Julio, how are you, bro? Yeah, I saw your comment earlier when you said houses were only cheap to buy them in before 2020, and that's true. I bought my house in 2020. Right now things are a little bit pricey. Things are a little bit pricey. Like, for example, let's say a house like my friend's that he made it into 2 studios, and the main house is 2.2. So he's able to pull out 2,500 from the main and 1,300 from each of the studios. So what's that? 3,800, 5,200 a month, and his mortgage is 38, and he put like 50 grand down. So that makes 100% sense. His ROI a year off that 50K is crazy. That's the thing, that when it comes to trading with no money is so hard, bro. You get desperate for wanting to make it. You get desperate for wanting to make it. You start to make impulsive decisions. You start to gamble, and your emotions are actually much, much higher and stronger when you're struggling in real life and you're trying to trade, and you're seeing trading as your way out, and you're struggling because you're like, damn, I'm not doing well. I need some money. I need to pass this account right now. Damn, I'm about to miss a trade. Had I not missed this trade, I would be up 20 pips extra, 20 pips closer to my goal. And you start to think like that, when in reality, you're like, 20 pips closer to my goal, buddy. That's not going to change or break the game. If I go back into 20 years into the future and I look back at my trading history, am I going to remember that one trade that I didn't take for 20 pips? No, it doesn't matter. So missing trades, that doesn't matter. It does not matter. Don't try to force trades. Don't try to, just be patient, because there's always going to be a setup for you. Your setup is always going to come. Wait for the 100% confluence. Full A+, non-stop. That's what you wait for, and you're patient. If it doesn't show up, you don't take it. Because if you just zoom out over the course of 5-10 years in your trading career, you're not going to remember, oh yeah, remember that one day that I only took one trade? You're not going to remember. You're just going to look at your P&L and see that it's overall positive and be like, yeah, I did that. It's triggered me just to pump down. No top hook on the 5. Yeah. I'd rather trade NY and hit my TP within seconds or minutes. I just can't anymore. I feel you. You know, if we start to break below these levels and start to form support here, then resistances here, respecting these sorts of levels here, then I'm just gonna manually close. Gotta see what happens here. That was a 30 pip rejection. Well, Hank, this is the same thing. I'd rather hit my TP or instantly be wrong. Well, we were instantly incorrect so far. Did the same thing happen here? It did, by a hair. Holy shit, we just dumped past this level here. Jesus. Yeah, I'm gonna have my stop loss here. If we keep dumping past that, I am not trying to be in that. I'm gonna take a pineapple here though, just in case. It's likely gonna stop me out. Yeah. Minus 50 pips. Oh, hold up. Someone's at my door. Huh? Yeah. Nice. A loss. Stream. A big one. Right. Good chat. What's good, chat? Was that a good stop loss or fucking what? Another reason I dislike Asians so much is because I would get into trades like this and then just stopped out on a big push and it ends up being only a big push for the night. Well, look at my stats on the screen, brother.
Oh, bro.
I thought you had it in your hand. I saw it.
White jar, right?
Yeah. So this dumped an extra... Yeah, no thank you.
This actually came in a jar.
Nice.
Look at it. If I take the bowl off of it. Bro, I was gonna tell you yesterday we should roll a generation buck, but I was like, damn, we smoke it all the way to the end. I didn't know any of those.
Let me update. Hey, options. Did you take that trade? I gotta add 2 break evens too when I fucking close it. Damn.
Children.
What's your analysis on this?
If it starts to reverse now, I mean, I would have held for another 30 pips, so I would have been a 90 pip stop loss. That means I would have been hovering 90 pips. Nah, I'm not trying to be that negative. I'd rather take the loss and make it back.
Yeah, there was a strong resistance here, where it just bounced off, came back down, went up again, rejected, and then it broke it. So you're thinking this could come back up? I mean, what are you seeing here? I have no idea why the hell it dropped, by the way. I don't know.
Whenever I see a candle like this and whenever it drops like that, that tells me that we need liquidity from the daily low in order to continue driving up, that this just wasn't enough. We did gap up during market open, so it looks like we might be coming down to retest that gap. This could be a potential trade here where we're rejecting off this level. The money printer set up on the 5-minute for a bullish flip here. That could be a decent entry. But with the push down, how far we came down, I'm a little sketched out on that. So I want to see and just wait to see what the market does. Because we don't have a bottom wick on the daily. If it is going to reverse, it's going to do it from here. And if we re-break this low, that chance of the reversal is almost none. Then we would be disrespecting the support. So usually whenever I see a dump like this, the last time I did that, it came all the way back down to the daily low, created a bottom wick for the daily, and then flipped it back and kept pushing all the way back up. So I want to be very careful.
Yeah, I mean, we were only 20 pips. We were only 20 pips away at the low right here from the daily low, from the flip. So, and it might just reject. It might come down and then push back up at 34 on that. But might come down right now.
Ideally, I want it to continue down and break the lows.
For sells?
To
The catch.
that would really give us the confirmation of what's gonna happen, right? Because if we refill the gap, we're either going to continue dumping, and we have a lot of range to the downside to give us a deep range here. We have all this clean range, 150 pips of clean range, or we mimic the move from the gap and we retest the highs and continue to all-time highs, which we're not far off of. So that we know that the daily needs a bottom wick. I know what there's this thing that I've been testing out, right? What do you ask for? No, bro, I drew the bearish setup for you, but it's risky. Whenever I see the market open on a gap like this, if the market comes back and retests that gap, there's a high probability that it's going to mimic the same move as the gap. So every time the market comes down and it retests the gap, I wait for some sort of support to be formed here, and then I take the buys to mimic that same move. So far, it's been happening, I would say, like 80% of the time. So with what I'm thinking, with this massive dump, the last time it did this, it came down to the daily lows, grabbed orders, and then without much of a bottom wick, it flipped back up to continue breaking the highs. With that in mind, and this gap here, both of those confluences together tell me that this could be a very strong level for buys once this daily comes down, because it looks like it's for sure going to come down here. And even holding it, that would have been another 20 pips of drawdown, so there's really no point. That would have been, yeah, there's no point in holding that. This candle completely invalidated the trade. The second we had this 5-minute candle, the trade is done. Pretend there was news that just came out. News comes out, you don't know what the fuck is gonna happen. It's probably gonna invalidate the trade. So the gap is just below the daily open. So let's see what happens here. Whenever something like that happens, you really don't know. That's not price action, that big red candle. That's a massive order that entered the fucking market, or a massive amount of stop orders that got hit at once. How'd you guys make out? Nice. That puts us break even on Asian for this week with the pips. And that puts me break even on the day. And that's very, very, very manageable. The old me would be killing my account right now, holding drawdown for 100 pips right now. I would have probably taken a pineapple here and saying, all right, bet, we're going to start driving up. If we start to re-break these highs, I'll take another entry. And then I'm over here trying to stack at these lows when we just have some more resistance right here, more resistance here, more resistance here. Just because we push up here doesn't mean we're not going to continue back down. This could just be a higher low before a continuation down. Look at all these levels that we have in this range to try to take a buy off these levels. So you have to be very, very careful here and wait for proper confirmation. I would say a higher time frame closing bullish, a nice bottom wick confirming we're forming support here, a break above this candle, and then you can catch any push in here, any push in here. Ideally, I want to get entries down here to catch the push up. Ideally, entry here to catch the push up. But hey, I think that that was a solid RR trade, if I do say so myself. Wait, buddy. The target was the rebreak of the daily of all-time highs. Look at that. Yeah, there was here my old account. I'd be like, ah, shit. I thought I saw this push up. Why did I enter? I should have waited. Now I have 2 positions here in drawdown, 1 position here in drawdown. I'm about to blow my account. If the daily lows hits, I'm blowing my account. Fuck it. Spamming buys here. Spamming buys here. We flip here or we blow it. We flip here or we blow it. Who's been there? Watching price move, me be out of a trade, and not feel a single thing, my heart rate staying exactly the same after the loss, and then watching what I would have done and just looking back at my old self and saying, wow, what an idiot. See what it do here. We got a 15-minute closure coming up. 15-minute closure. 15-minute just flipped after breaking the lows. We didn't quite retest the gap, so let's see what we do here. Can't be breaking your rules, dog. That money printer on the 15, but 1 minute to close. Yeah, 81 pips of drawdown. That's crazy. Fuck that. So once this 15-minute closes, if we see if we can get a bottom wick and then another push up. Well, looks like it's not. I blame the pen, Eddie. Dope. Holy shit. I have a sell stop on the 15 break of the low. Oh, we're activated. The target is the daily low. Once we fill this wick, there should be no reason why this doesn't come all the way down to the daily low and give us a daily bottom wick. This buy got taken out right here for 50 pip stops. I'm gonna go break even here. I saw 9 pips. That's 10. Yeah. So the push down, 1 attempt. Push down, 2nd attempt. You didn't push this time. Fucking flying. That's it. I'm not giving it any more attempts. It's done. That's a break-even trade. Or 10 pips. So I decided to take the 10 pips to secure a little bit of profits. So I lost 50, made back 10. We have an hourly closure coming up. I'm going to let the hourly close coming up. So we need to come down. Most likely we're going to make a bottom wick for this previous hourly. I got you, brother, when my trading session is done. What a closure. What a closure. Seven minutes to the 4-hour close, baby. Hello. On Zoom, I don't know how to do that, brother. This? Did that work? Huh. So, on YouTube, I have to lower the volume on... For YouTube, for the stream, I have to lower the volume on the YouTube app. For Zoom, I have to lower the volume on my PC. But then that means that, Jay, you gotta turn your mic up a little bit so that I can hear you. Because I had to turn up full volume so that I can hear you talk. It fully ran 23 pips. I said in my head, come on, give me a 20 pip pop per stream. And it didn't. It did it a few minutes later. It'd be like that. Bougie is chillaxing. So this is what I want to happen, right? The way this 4 hours closing with no bottom wick, I still need that dump down to create a bottom wick for the daily. That's still important. I still need that for the structure to be proper on the drive up. Without it, it looks like ass. I mean, this could be the bottom wick, right? This could be the bottom wick. We came down, we retested it almost to the T before coming up. If we're truly bullish, that might be all that we need when we have a lot of volume like that. I ate a lot of food today. If you're in buys, clap your hands. If you're getting clapped, clap your hands. That 30 money printer drove for 12 pips. What a trash money printer on the 30. But it just hit this resistance to the fucking T. Ah, you're still in the original position, my friend. Oh, I will close. Let's see what's gonna happen. Ah, so once we break this high, you'll be break even. So once the once the money printer decides to actually fucking do something. You know what my goal is, chat? To curse less. Help me do that.
In general?
Mm-hmm. In general. I tried to record a video and then I watched it back and I said the F word like 20 times and I'm like, I need to learn higher vocabulary. I'm just using cuss words as filler words.
That just means you need to read more.
I read more than anybody I know. I read a lot.
I think you need to actually look at the words though.
No, I need to listen.
How much of those words do you go back and look up to see what the words are? Because I guarantee you.
Bro, I have like a lot of reading hours, like a lot.
But how much of those words do you go back?
I only have 2 books, bro, which means that I've been double downing on every single chapter over and 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 over the same chapters over and over and over and over and over and over and over.
Well, that's your problem. You gotta read other books.
No, I need only the books that matter.
No. There's information.
Just pretend there's a kid around and that will help you watch what you say. You're just angry. Yeah, that is true. That is 100% true. That's why I smoke a lot of weed, dog. It keeps me down here so that I don't fucking smack the shit out of somebody.
No, they have been wanting to, but then I just like smile, bro. 'Cause especially when people have been cutting me off lately, bro. Oh,
Every time somebody cuts me off now, I just think of, oh, that one dude that unloaded a clip into somebody's car, and I'm like, all right, let me. My Jeep doesn't have strong doors. Let me chill out.
he did. He did.
My Jeep doesn't have strong doors. My Jeep doors are paper. Before this drives down, once we hit this level here, we're going to get a push up. This level is gonna cause a push up. So if you have a pineapple here, a pineapple here, by the time that we push up here, that's 50 pips. If we retest this high, that's 2 entries here versus 1 here. So you're gonna be 1 minus 50, 1 minus 50, 1 plus 50, and then this one, whatever it is in profit, or this one, wherever you took it in profit. So you're gonna have 1 entry in profit out of the 3 if you took a pineapple here, if you took an entry here, here, and here. The gap is right here, so we're gonna get a reaction off of here. The reaction is most likely gonna be to this most recent high, which is at least 35 pips, which would be a break even. And if it pushes up even further to the previous high, 45, 50 pips, you'll be up 20 pips in profit. Yeah, 20 pips in profit, maybe more if you entered on the wick. 30 pips, depending on where your entry was here. If it doesn't drive up from here, right? Which it can. We're so close to all-time highs. What are we doing? Trump just did some more shit that I didn't even read about.
He said he's considering the 20%.
You heard that he says that he might give us back 5,000 in taxes?
Yeah, that's what he's talking about. The 20% that he'll take from Dogecoin that they say he's gonna give back, and it'll add up to the 5,000 per household.
Per household?
That's what it said.
Well, I'm the only one in my household. If you give me an extra 5 bandos, hourly just closed. Hourly closed bearish. We closed back into all of these ranges. This previous hourly needs to come up for a top wick, right? The most recent top wick is going to be at this 38 at level, maybe the 39 level. We're coming down for a bottom wick first. So where are we going to tap before continuing the push up? We have a bottom wick on the weekly. We did close above doji. Man, a flip bearish here on the daily would give us a pretty decent push down. Just looking at this. Looking at the daily range to the previous daily, we have 150 pips. 6x, you're savage. That's the gap. Let's see. Damn, what the hell? Something bit me.
What's this?
You're fucking gay, my bro.
That's for cursing.
Let me hit that. Yo. Drop a W in the chat. We lost one. We won one. We don't trade RR over here, so that one loss, that one win did not make back that loss. But I'm still up 50 pips for the week. Like, only 50 pips? Brother, if you do 50 pips positive every week and all you do is scale your capital, you're gonna make a shit ton of money. Who cares? The goal is to be profitable at the end of the week, month, quarter, year. $50 pips times 52, that's 2,600 pips in a year. You're trading a 2-lot. That's 50 bands trading a 2-lot. Fredo, have you learned anything from young Eddie when you're opening out? No, Fredo hasn't learned absolutely anything.
I've learned.
I'm just waiting for my YouTube to take off and start paying me the AdSense money, so that way I can hire him as my clip artist or my clip maker, and he can start making the clips for me. So he'll be here with the laptop and some earphones and whatever's a good clip, and I say clip that, he'll be like, got you, clip. Is this on YouTube live right now? No, I'm pre-recording this so that I can post it on YouTube later. I'm just kidding, brother. Joey, this is live. My brother, listen, Hank. You are the new variation of your mentor. So you have the ability to be much, much better than your mentor because of the fact that you're starting earlier and your view and your perspective is just different. So you're viewing from a different angle, whereas Don is viewing from this angle, but you're both using the same concepts. So you're seeing something that he's not because he's looking at it from a different angle and you're looking at it from this angle. So you're becoming a better version of your mentor in your own respect, you know what I mean? So yes, some people are like, oh yeah, I couldn't deal with Don taking only 10 pips a day. I had to do more, and that's the goal. You continue with your strategy. My angle is great. You have to read. I'm gonna give you 2 books to read, and you have to read them. I promise you, ever since I started reading them, it literally changed my aspect on everything. The Mental Game of Trading and The Best Losers Win. And there's only maybe 2 good chapters in the whole book. 3 good chapters in each of the book that you have to really pay attention to and listen to. The rest is just fluff and stories of bullshit. But the chapter on greed, I've listened to that chapter 4 times. Over and over and over. I think I have like 3 hours of listening to just that chapter.
Yeah, the daily just came down and down and down on the 4-hour, and it just slipped for a second. And so we'll see if it pushes back up from here, but it didn't break lower. Just hit it, flipped for a second. Turn back up, so I don't know if that's going to be enough.
Yeah, let's see.
Pineapple
If
again.
it's not this level that we bounce off, we gotta start looking for the next probable level, and then the next probable level is the daily low. Do we get a wick past the daily low and then a push up? That could be a possibility. We do have that gap, and my theory of that gap is very strong. So that's something that I'm looking for.
5 closed bearish and new 5 created a top.
Across 2 books in total, I have 15 hours of listening time across a total of like 5 chapters. So that means that I've been listening to the same 5 chapters about greed, risk management, and psychology over and over and over for hours and hours and hours. Grilling into my mind all the psychological tricks that the best, most profitable traders, like the first book, The Mental Game, or The Best Losers Win, Tom Hogard literally trades live on YouTube, blocks all the comments, and talks to nobody. And he's been doing this for like 30 years with a track record proven for 30 years. So I don't trade like he does. He trades in Nasdaq and he also scalps, but I like to read his book and his psychology. And one of the stats that was like really crazy to me was that 90% of traders have a 90% win rate. And it's that one trade that they lose that they don't know how to manage that causes them to blow the entire account. This book was written maybe 5 years ago, but at the time, all of the data across all the major brokerages were saying that the majority of traders had a good strategy and were making money, and they blew it on that one trade. And that's where risk management, emotional greed, and all those factors come into line. Like, if you for example, Jay, you're under risking like crazy on your account, so you're able to hold a lot of drawdown, and to you it doesn't hurt. This is an evaluation account, right? If I would have held all of this drawdown and started stacking pineapples, a push down here would have blown the account. So I have to manage risk a little bit differently and grind that loss back instead of holding. In the future, I would be holding my trade a little bit longer. My ideal stop loss is all the way down here at the daily low to retest this gap. If it does retest that gap, I would have stacked all the way up knowing that this shit is going to fucking drive. But look, we just retested the gap and we're getting that drive. So damn. I should have been in that trade, to be honest, but you're seeing my gap entry in play right now. The retest of that gap, that initial retest, you're gonna likely get a mimic of this move here. Tapped it to the T and we drove already 25 pips off the bottom. Let's see how far up we go. No bottom wick though, that's ugly. Because if it flips bearish, that's coming down to re-break the lows. We have a lot of resistance here. Let's see if this gap is too fucking strong and it'll flip this 15 and 30 bullish. Because if it does, that'd be crazy. I'm being 100% honest with you guys, that loss did not affect me whatsoever at all. I felt zero. My heartbeat didn't go up, it didn't go down, just straight nothing. And that's one of the very few times that happens. Knowing I saved myself an extra 40 pips of drawdown and a possible blown account. Obviously, I'm over risking on this account to pass it. I'm halfway through. I was halfway through the account in 3 days. What about that? What do you guys think of the Caddy, the Cadillac Escalade? It's not more of a gas guzzler than my Jeep. It does better gas mileage than my Jeep. No, brand new, no. Buying brand new cars, bro, you're taking a massive, massive, massive depreciating hit. If you buy that car brand new, it's like 110,000. If you wait 2 years, the car's 60,000. Why would I take a $50,000 hit like that in 2 years? I would assume we come up for a steeper top wick before coming down. I'm not seeing my setups form quite yet. Denali. Volume has entered the chat. See, the idea was the continuation. Every time that I send a screenshot in the chat, if you look at my trades, the price continues, never comes back down to re-enter. So the stop loss here was an invalidation of this trade. Holding past the stop loss, you're going based off a deeper idea where you're still extremely bullish on price, where price can come up and retest these highs. So if we do re-break the lows now, the next push would be the daily low. Sorry, it had already hit the daily low here. Why didn't it hit it here? But if we do flip, man, that gives me even more indication of my gap idea that I was explaining earlier. If it does flip and starts coming back up to retest the highs, man, then I will 100% be taking wick entries at these gaps. Let's get a closure above this level. Some structure being formed here, and then I can take some buys on up. Four-hour came, tapped the bottom wick for the daily. 4 hours starting to flip bullish now. Let's see if we can get some sort of structure forming above this level, and then we can start looking for some buys. There was no pullback on this trend line. You know what this calls for? A holy J. Damn, my forehead looks massive with this camera. I gotta get a different camera. This camera has like a little...
Jesus Christ.
This camera has like a wide angle, and then since I'm putting it head on, it makes my forehead look bigger. Hey bro, I didn't know if streaming was gonna do good or not, so I got the cheapest setup that I could find. I have actual equity in my fucking setup, bro. This MacBook has 2 years of warranty on it, and the guy gave it to me 3 months used because he bought it for his computer business and it didn't work. It wasn't strong enough. This is the M2 that's $600 and he sold it to me for $300. On the Facebook Marketplace, they're all selling for $450 to this day. And if there's still warranty on it, you can get the $500 for it. So I have equity in my fucking shit. This, I got this for $20. It's worth $40 in the marketplace, the Dell.
Oh.
This is the only one that I bought brand new. I got equity. Forehead McGee. Yeah, bro. The forehead of profitability. Look at that, bro. Look at that. Is that your break-even point, or you're like a pip away from break-even? If you stacked another pineapple, that would probably be it.
I stacked the pineapple and I just closed all my positions. I didn't give a fuck where it was gonna go from there. I'm up. I made 27.9 pips. Motherfucking double. Oh my god.
My gap entry, bro.
Yeah, once the 4 hour flipped, I was like, it's gotta keep pushing. It came back down a little bit. Normally, sometimes it can reject. But I just saw that it rejected so many times the low, and it came down to the daily low, and it rejected. I knew it was gonna come back up. So I stacked at 34. And then, so my break even was much lower than, and not even that, I was actually in profit. So, fuck it, that here.
Bro, you see that, bro? You see that gap fill, bro? There's a gap retest, and how I talked about that, and it literally started happening. That's awesome that it literally happened on stream. I am very, very, very excited that that happened, and that's just even more confirmation for me to start taking these wick entries at the gap. Even if price did come down and retest that low, I mean, how much room did I have? I had 15 pips before the next major support. So I had plenty of time. If price tapped that, it would have rejected at least 20-30 pips before continuing down. So I had plenty of room down there. So let's see. Alright, now that we've closed above, let's see if we can get a decent pullback here. I'm glad you see what FVG is, bro. I don't know what an FVG is. Fair value Gooch. I don't know. Fair value Gucci. All Gucci is not fair value, my brother. All Gucci is overvalued.
100%. Well, I saw a counter financial advisor for Gucci. He did 85% off any high-end stuff. So just imagine.
No, you're not allowed to resell. If they catch you reselling, they ban you from all Gucci stores.
They can resell.
But no, but yeah.
The cost. If they're doing that, that means they're making profit or at least breaking even. They're not losing.
Yeah, like you can go to Spain and get a Gucci bag for like hundreds and hundreds of dollars off, maybe even like 50% off. But the second you come here,
super cheap because you don't pay taxes on it.
but the second, no, it's not just taxes; it's a cheaper price. The second you come here, they charge you money for it. My stepsister bought one over there, and she could afford two for the same price that she would have paid for one here. Wherever the fuck she went. But then it depends. If you have too many bags, they're gonna charge you. The spider squirted?
It's the spider web. Imagine that. What would you do if that one was there? Would you smack that one?
Spiders? Yes, I don't care about spiders. I kill all spiders.
That size spider?
Yes, bro. Spiders are nothing. I kill every spider that I see. Bruh. I work around spiders 7 days a week, homie.
Not that.
Trying to see if that buy would have been good. What would a break of the high there have given me? I'm just gonna fill this whole range up without giving me an entry. What? You're a bitch.
Actually, that could be good.
Yeah, I can't take an entry there, damn. I'm trying to see how I could have taken an entry, but I don't have an entry. There's all the break evens. So in order for me to stay in profit in that trade, I would have had to experience 84 pips of drawdown and not taking any pineapples. And then it pulled back 84, it's half of 84, 42 to 28. You're looking at 22 pips of 14 pips of profit across two positions if I would have had a wick entry down here. I would have had to stack down here, but I wouldn't be able to because the drawdown on the account is 2,500 on a one lot, 85 pips. That's 850. If I would have had multiple entries, that would have been 80% of the account of drawdown. I would have had to bank all of my money on this one trade alone for it to work out here, or I blew the evaluation. So that's how I'm thinking of doing this. Huh. Can we get a steeper bottom wick? Keep coming down. Please, 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 my friend. Keep coming down. You have a 30-minute closure coming up in 3 minutes. That's way too close. That's the same thing I've said multiple times and it just keeps driving past my setup, right? How many pips to the bottom of the range here? 55. I'm gonna wait and be a patient man. Candles are moving. So with this 30-minute closure coming up in 2 minutes, this 30-minute, if it closes above these areas here, that would be ideal. If you get a closure below here, a bottom wick, and then a rebreak, a reflip bullish, a bottom wick to like here at least, and then a flip bullish would make the most sense. But we're gonna need to see literal drawdown pull, but we're gonna see pullbacks and more closures before an entry after this 30 even. So there was no telling price was gonna disregard all those supports, all those resistances, and keep driving an extra 20 pips, which would have put all of the positions in profit. There's no telling that would have happened. So that gap fill gave us 54 pips. That's beautiful. Start paying attention to that and just keep an eye on it and watch it and watch it and watch it and see how many times that retest of the gap gives you that same move. 30-minute closure. We're coming up for a top wick first. That's not pretty. after respecting all of these levels. We literally pushed down just to respect that. The 15-minute has no bottom wick, and we're respecting all of these resistances here. So I'm going to mark these up in white because I'm going to consider these minor. This is the only... So we rejected off of 1. And we formed structure, bullish structure there. So let's see if we continue to form bullish structure. We need a bottom wick on this 30. It can't just drive up and break the high without giving me a bottom wick. If it does that, I can't take an entry. It looks like it might though. I need that bottom wick and then that flip bullish. That bottom wick would be retesting that previous resistance. It would be retesting that previous resistance here. Turning that into support. If it flips bullish and starts driving up, that'd be beautiful. But I would be looking for more like a break of this 1 minute structure high. This break of the 1 minute structure high will put you back into this daily high range. Back with the possibility of re-breaking the high and taking the same entry that we took here earlier. We're already in that daily range here on XAU. Or sorry, GC. So pull down to here seems reasonable before continuation. Damn, it's still pushing up. Yeah, that's a lot because you're in a challenge, so you're limited. 30-minute closing. 30-minute close. Minuscule bottom wick first. Hey, chat. 17 viewers, but only 10 likes. There's this streamer that I watch that he's like, you know what? There's 2,000 of you watching. I should have 2,000 likes. If there's not 2,000 likes, I'm gonna find whoever didn't like and I'm gonna ban you. He's like, and everybody got scared and started spamming the like button. You can't find somebody who didn't like. But that guy on his stream, you see 1,000 viewers, 1,500 viewers, and you see almost the equivalent in likes. Do you use ICT? No, but it's similar to our strategy. DVS is similar. It uses just... I trade... So if you trade ICT and you start looking at how I trade, you'll be like, oh, you're trading ICT. You just traded off an FVG. I don't know what an FVG is. I just know that I identified it in my trading. I guess that's an FVG. So I had a level marked up here. I explained my theory. Market opens. Gives you this gap. Gives you the drive. The retest of the gap gives you a mimic of the initial drive. We didn't fully fill the gap on this first retest, giving us a possibility of another gap fill. There is only a 48% chance that price fills the gap within the same day, meaning there's a 52% chance it's going to reject that gap every time that it taps, which you have an edge there. You have a 2% edge there off the entry of the gap. You can look up these statistics yourself so you know that I'm not bullshitting you. So when price comes back and retests that gap, there is only a 48% chance that it's going to come down and fill this. So knowing that you have that 52% chance, what do you wait for? You wait for an indication and you wait for an entry type. We had basically the money printer kind of set up here. Tiny, almost no bottom wick. Price came down first for bottom wick and then flipped bullish, retesting the gap. So that is a basic entry type that you have here, or you wait for it to close back into range, confirming it. Once you had this scooper here, you could have taken an entry here on the push up. So you look for your entry types after this gap, knowing that you have a 2% edge. So how can you take advantage of that 2% edge? You add your own price action analysis to that edge, and that'll increase your edge by several percentage points. And all that matters. Especially when you're combining it with risk management, you now have a strategy. You now have a play, a setup. You now have something you can name that now. The gap fill or the gap trade or the thigh gap or the... You guys probably see the money printer all the time when you're trading, but you probably call it something different. It's when price closes with no bottom wick, indicating no continuation, no more range for a continuation. The following candle comes down, creates a bottom wick first, and then on the flip bullish, usually you get a nice push up for a counter trend trade, or you take it at rejection levels, at resistances or supports to take the counter trend, or the firecracker. But basically, we had a money printer set up right here. It didn't tap any level of interest that I had, so I couldn't call it a valid money printer. But price closed with barely a bottom wick. The next candle came up, created a top wick first, tapping an area of interest ideally, and then it flipped bearish. So that is your entry type. Your entry would be at the flip of the wick down. If you want to be safe, you can add a couple of pips, but you're trading 5-minute candles. So you know that 2 pips on a 10 pip candle is 20% of the profit of your trade. So you really want to be as precise as you can with them. Right. So all these concepts, I didn't make them up. These are all concepts that through being in the Discord and trading, we have noticed them and saying, oh shit, have you guys noticed this? And then, like, for example, I'll give you an example of how we figured it out. I was noticing that and marking it down the same way that I was noticing the gap trade. And then one day, Nate asked in the chat, yo, have you guys noticed this? And I think Bougie was also taking that trade. And he's like, yo, yes, I've been noticing that. And then once all 3 of us were like, yo, all of us have been noticing that, let's start executing this with a bit more confidence. Then literally within a couple of weeks, we're like, oh, we've been noticing that our trades only drive for this much, so I know that I got to start going break even by this point. And we started identifying the best break even points for the entry. We started identifying the best target for the entry. We started noticing that if you have a candle that has no top wick and no bottom wick, right? No top wick, no bottom wick. You had the money printer set up right here for a counter trend trade. You usually come down to fill that entire candle before coming back bullish to continue the drive, right? So what did we do here? The money printer, no top wick. This candle came up, created a top wick first, tapped an area of interest, and then flipped bearish. It gave us 18 pips, filled the no top wick, no bottom wick candle, and now is continuing the trend to the upside. So that is the 30-minute candle. That 30-minute just flipped bullish. Where's that 30-minute high at?
Would you even take anything on the 30? I wouldn't. I mean, it created a top wick first and then it came back down.
No, the only way that I would take something is if this starts to continue flip bullish here and fill the range back up. But it would have to literally flip this and start creating structure on the way up.
I mean, I'm not seeing it right now for sure. That's why I think it might.
See, like here it looks much cleaner. If we re-break the high here, this is just perfect structure for a continuation. If you look at a GC here, and look at how we're just flying. So what I'm thinking is, if this 30 does flip bullish, and we start to fill this range up here and start to re-break the high, we're likely going to come back up to grab liquidity from a higher level before coming back down. But this could be the lower high for a continuation down after rejecting all of these levels. So that's why I want to wait for a break of this high, a break of this high, and structure forming up here before I can take anything. Just looking at it here on the 1 minute, it looks clean. The low.
Well, look at the hour. The hour is keeps flipping in and out right now, bullish and bearish. So it's a decision time. But it's at a strong level anyways. It was at 36 first on gold, 36.50, and now it's at 37. So it can come back down technically. Look at the 4 hour.
Yeah, it for sure can come back down. this could be the official high, especially how strong of a push down we got from this level. But you could see here, we came down here, right? We rejected this level, but came all the way down here, and then retested that level once again after testing these lows. And the closest reaction that we have to that is the gap fill here. So we basically have the same structure forming here.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit different.
Boom.
Yeah.
Rejection, drive up to that same level, and then it came back down. So we could be, right now we're at that indecision level here. Are we going to use this as the lower high, or is it going to come back up to wick that high before doing the exact same thing? So that's something that I look at, that I learned from Don, mimicking what the market has done in the past. So it can make a brand new level. So we now have two more levels right here that it can use, and instead of going all the way up, it gets the average of these two levels, and then that's what it uses. So that could be, and you can see it here, the average of these two levels is right about this yellow line, and then we're starting to reject that pretty closely. So taking averages and looking at the past and seeing what happened before and what could happen. Are we rejecting the exact same levels or very close and forming similar structures? If so, I can start looking to copy that move and seeing how can I get in on that move. So I would still like to see a closure back into this range, a wick up, and then sells down to fill the daily range. And that gap fill gave us a nice 53 pips. For sure a sell. Every time I say for sure, I lose. I said this was for sure a buy, but I took a loss. And it's still not showing me any signs of it possibly. It's only showing me one possible sign of it continuing up. All the other confluences are looking bearish. So knowing that, my stop loss there and any risk management done here was well worth it. Yeah, but the thing with ICT and trading patterns is that none of that matters. None of that matters if your key level, if you're not at a key level or at a proper level. If you're not at the key level, it doesn't matter that you took the money printer. If you're not at the proper level for a money printer, it's not going to work. It doesn't matter that you took the fucking money printer. You know how many times people that trade patterns say, oh look, I see the bullish wedge. I'm going to take, or I see the upwards channel or whatever. I'm going to take the breakout of the channel. Like this breakout of the high that I took here, some people would consider that, what is that, an upward channel or whatever? You get the upward channel. On the 1 minute time frame, we had that breakout to the upside. If you look here, that's a pattern trade. See how the breakout of the channel worked? But if you would have taken out that same bullish momentum move here, you would have been in drawdown and got stopped out. Because that's the way that they tell you to trade these channels. You take an entry here on the bullish momentum down, your stop loss would be at the most recent high, and you would have been wicked out of your high before a continuation down for the real move. So just trading patterns doesn't mean anything if you're not at the right level. If you're not at the key level with proper context of the market. Are you bullish? Are you bearish? Is the 4 hour flipping bullish? Does the 4 hour have a top wick, bottom wick? Are you closing above the range, below the range? This is the lesson for you. Look at these 4 hour candles. What do you see on 99.9% of these candles? Top wick, bottom wick, top wick, bottom wick, top wick. They all have top wick, bottom wicks, the majority. A very large percentage. And whenever you don't, what does price do? It comes back for it. No bottom wick, the next candle came back to grab a bottom wick for it to continue up. When it doesn't have that wick, look, we gapped up, no top wick here. price came down, or sorry, where was it at? See, look, no bottom wick here. Price came all the way down here, but it eventually came back to create that wick. It does that. That's what price does. So knowing that if you're driving on a 4-hour and you're looking for buys and you don't have a bottom wick, you know that the majority of 4-hour candles have bottom wicks. So what's going to happen? You're likely going to come down and create a bottom wick at some point. And that was the idea that I had for my stop loss. At some point, the daily is going to come down and create a bottom wick. So how much can I take advantage of this bullish range before coming down? And it looks like this resistance was valid as the daily high. So for a fact, price is going to come down to create a bottom wick for that daily at some point. Knowing that, where can you take advantage of? You can take advantage of buys up until the daily top wick range, or you can see where the daily hit that top wick and then take sells down targeting that daily low. It's all about context. We just had a 15-minute closure. I need a top wick on this 15, man. If this we would have had a top wick here and then a re-break of the low, that would be perfect for sells. But it's a tricky situation, right? Because if it respects this level here and it starts to re-break the highs, that just used previous resistance and turned it into support, which is proper market structure. When you see things respecting to the T like that, and you see perfect textbook market structure, that's when you can start to say, okay, maybe these patterns will start working now. Maybe these patterns are working. And the patterns work when you're at proper levels. It's all about the levels. If you're wondering why some of your trades are winning and some of your trades are losing and they're the exact same type of entry, then your levels are off. If you're like, oh, I wait for the FV, I wait for the accumulation, I wait for it to manipulate, then before the distribution, I wait for it to tap an FVG after grabbing liquidity, and then I enter. If you're an ICT trader, if you follow your steps to the T like that every single time and you still find yourself losing, your levels are off. People that trade trend lines, that say trend lines don't work, if this trend line works right now that I just put up on the screen, how are you going to tell me trend lines don't work if I just drew one and it works? Why? Because this is a very good level for it to drive off of. And if it were to drive, it would use this level after the 15-minute grab the bottom wick, breaking the trend, the bearish trend. So this would be the push up. So if price were to follow proper market structure, this is where we would reject off of. If it's not going to follow market structure, it will break this low and then grab orders from another area. But if it is going to do proper market structure, higher highs, higher lows, this would be where we would reject off of. So just because I'm like calling out these levels to the T like that, I don't see my entry. I don't have an entry that I can take. So I need to be very sure about my entries so that I can take advantage of that. So the more that I see things like that, the more I start looking for entries. I'm like, all right, how could I have taken an entry here? How can I have anticipated? This is a trade options would likely take. So how do trend lines not work if it just worked now? You see what I'm saying? Everything works. It's all about the key levels that you're at. What do you have here? You also have your downward channel. You have your whatever. You have your retest of the order block if you're an order block trader. Hank, if you're listening. Retest of your order block. I mean, there's every single kind of setup here. Your ICT setup, your trendline setup, your order block setup. It's all there if you're at the proper level. Holy shit. No bottom wicks on all these candles. after closing below. This is not... Yes, those buys looked interesting. Yep. So you can start to see how it doesn't matter what you trade, bro. If your levels are there and you're identifying the market structure, man, the sky's the limit. That wick, bro, that shit gave us the entire move back. That is such a W analysis, and I'm gonna be taking that trade continually from now on. Hey Eddie, can you please give me your thoughts on US 30? I see the breakdown downward trend on the 1 hour, looking for a pullback, looking for a long position on US 30. YM. You are at a 4 hour resistance here. You don't have a bottom wick on this 4 hour candle. Price did come down and start closing below all of these ranges. So now you have two things that can happen. This could be a fake out and price could start driving back up. We have the money printer play here starting to form. We could get a refill of this range all the way back up to grab a top wick for these hourly candles. We don't have top wicks here, but usually when you see this 2 hourly candles with no top wicks, that's usually a very strong indication of a downward push. So maybe it doesn't need to come all the way back up. So that retest that you're looking for is valid, right? So you want to see price, you want to see structure form. So you want to see price to come down, create that lower low, create that lower high, and then really respect that. So when you get that break of the daily low, or if you see your entry where it retests your trend line and then it gives you like a push down, that's valid. And you know, it could fill this whole range down. You've already grabbed orders above these highs here. So yeah, it could be pretty valid here, especially how you broke these highs, you broke into this previous range here, and you're starting to close back below. But you really want to be careful. You don't have a top wick here and you don't have a top wick here. Price could come all the way back up. The same thing that it just did now. You see how we broke below the range here and it looked like it was coming down. Once price came back to this level, it needed to use this level as a resistance and to drive down, but it didn't. It turned it into support. So that's what you don't want to see happen here. You don't want to see this same shit happen right here. So you see how steep into the previous range this came? So this is most likely going to come pretty steep into this range. See how we don't have a top wick here? Price came all the way back up for it. So those candles not having a top or bottom wick is very, very important. So what you don't want to see this happen here. So you really want to confirm that it's going to re-break the low and continue driving down. And how do you confirm that? You confirm that it's turning this into a resistance and you see structure forming on your way back down, and maybe a re-break of the daily low could give you that push all the way back down, because it really did this whole move in 130-minute candle. So even if you wait till here with a stop loss at the highs, you have hundreds of pips to take advantage of there. We have an hourly closure in 4 minutes, and this is just driving right before the hourly closure to this previous level where we rejected off of instantly. So I want to wait for this hourly to close and see what the hell happens. I don't want to have a trade here. So we have 6 minutes. So, two things. When price creates a daily high, that price is the daily high, and you don't come back to that level for the rest of the day. So two things could be happening here. We can either be creating a new daily high, which means we could be coming which means it will eventually get retested again, or at least close to it will get retested, or we're retesting the current daily high to confirm it as the daily high before a continuation down. So that's something that you want to keep in mind when you're at the daily high. If it's a fresh daily high and you're creating fresh highs, you can keep taking continuations. But if you already had a high and price came all the way back down and you're retesting that high, the probability of it breaking through is a little bit less, knowing that the daily high will never get retested again for the rest of the day. So we got to see what happens here. We got 4 minutes. You ICT traders, I see you selling off that FVG. I see you selling off that FVG, buddy boy. Tell me that ain't an ICT FVG rejection setup off the daily high. That's literally it. Or tiny little stop loss you probably had. You're probably already up like a 1 to 5 RR. Thoughts on Ethereum longs right now? I don't know shit about crypto, my boy. Crypto, I'm long on all crypto. In the long term. Three minutes for this hourly, man. You're giving me setups without the closure, bro. I hate you. You're annoying me, Gold. What are you trading on? I'm trading on TradeEvade linked to TradingView. So I'm trading futures. Yeah. My only valid... If this re-breaks the highs here, I would have a buy stop. But we're so close to the hourly closure that I don't want to. I have one singular way of reading the market and a couple of different entry types. 99% of my entries will all look the same. We have 2 minutes. I'll give you a good example. So, you see this setup here that I took on the buys? I had a buy stop here on the break of the daily high, and my stop loss was below this range. I got stopped out here. When you look at this setup here, we had that same setup on the 15-minute time frame when I took the sells. See here, after I got stopped out above here, I waited for this candle and I took the sells. We had that same setup to the downside here. So you could see on the 15-minute, maybe you could see it on the 5, how the same candle structure here was the same candle structure here when I took the buys. So depending on the level that I'm at, my entries are always going to look the same. This was my trade. And this was my trade here. See the accumulation, the pop, the accumulation, the pop. The accumulation here happened on the 1 minute. The accumulation, and then the pop is when I took my entry. So now that we're about to have a closure, see, I would have buy stops here if it wasn't for the hourly closure. If it wasn't for the hourly closure, this would 100% be a buy stop area for me. Especially after this pullback and now this push, man. Oh well. Let's see. Hourly closure, hourly just closed. Hourly coming down. We have a little top wick on the hourly. Do you guys hear that? The helicopter? It's respecting, yeah. So we're coming up to grab a top wick. Let's see how my trade would have fared out. Yeah, I would have to keep stops right here at like 17 pips, because if this isn't the push and we come down to break these lows, that shit is gone to make that hourly bottom wick. But because it's coming up first, we should get a steep top wick to an area of interest, which is the daily high, before coming down and re-breaking the low, if it is going to come down bearish. So I'm gonna give this 5 more minutes. If this 5-minute candle doesn't give me like a nice closure with a nice top wick, the next candle comes down, creates a bottom wick for the hourly, and then flips bullish, then I can maybe look for buys. So I'll stay on for like 15 more minutes. If not, I gotta call it. And we'd be down 40 pips on stream. Minus 40. What? It just disappeared in my... whatever. Yeah, buys are for sure difficult. If it wasn't for the hourly closure, see how the hourly is making the setup struggle? No, I guess not. That's the 10. If it wasn't for that hourly, I would have been in there. The hourly, it's quite the ordeal. So, we just created new daily highs. Let's see how steep of a pullback we can get before a re-break. And even then, it might... Everything is respecting here. I don't like that. For it to confirm, we would have to come back pretty steep. Oh, we did come back pretty steep on my wick here. Not on this one, though. I do have a nice bottom wick on my hourly. If it re-breaks the daily high on my end, I'm gonna have a buy stop. Come down first. It's 1 minute. 30 seconds for this closure and we're coming back into range. Yeah, I'm not taking that. Delete. Delete, delete, delete. If I wait for this 15-minute closure, we're going to be closing 15-minute above all the most recent ranges. But we don't have enough pullback for a continuation with how I would like. But the last time I didn't even do that. We look how we're following this level to the T, right? Look at how this level right here, we drove all the way up to the highs off that level. So we just came down, grabbed orders below, and started driving off that. So this could very well be the same push that we had here. This push happened at 4 in the morning. After this happened around 3. Asian gave us the lows and consolidated before driving during right at midnight, 12:30. Damn, that gap trade, baby. How many pips? 89 pips, bro. That's so impressive. I'm so happy with how that trade is playing out. Every time that I look at it, like 80% of the time it plays out. And the times that it doesn't, it fills the gap and it still gives you an out before coming out. So it's almost a 100% win rate. Virtually. We just had a 5-minute closure, barely a bottom wick, and then it's flipping. It's still respecting structure on the 1 minute. If we flip bullish and break the highs, that would still be a clean setup. It would still be mimicking this, but it's not the same kind of pullback. It's not the same kind of pullback you'd expect for an hourly candle. Have you guys ever experienced a white screen on CapCut? Would you want to see it push down to 2940 like it just did right now?
Yeah, I literally wrote it, and then boom, I saw the candle go down. I was like, what?
Maybe.
Yeah, so, I mean, if it goes down to 40 or something
But
like that,
what was I saying earlier about the daily highs? Like whenever you create a daily high, if that is the daily high, it's never coming back. And if it does come back to the daily high, two things are going to happen. You're either going to wick it to create a new daily high and continue rejecting down, or continue pushing bullish. So now that we created a new daily high, this pullback is important. It's going to tell us if we're going to respect support and continue flipping bullish, or if this is going to be the new daily high and we're now going to continue down bearish, which eventually, if you were to be stuck in a buy here, eventually price would come back to retest some sort of level here, which you could get out. Now that we've formed new levels here, you have strong levels you can take pineapples off of. But if we do keep rejecting down here, it's most likely going to be the confirmation of the daily high before to really come down and make that bottom wick for the daily, which would be a double top.
when would you look at sales? As of when would you look at sales?
What up, market mechanic, my dude?
As of when would you start looking at sales, Eddie?
I mean, as soon as we break these lows,
On
what level is it? That's a 5-minute no top wick. We're
9?
flipping on the 15-minute bearish here, back down. So we have to just not respect these 1-minute levels.
Yeah, I was looking at 29.39 for possible sales after that.
We just have to make sure we don't respect these 1-minute levels and continue breaking the highs.
Okay, cool.
Because like I said, we're making the decision. We're at the proper level for that higher low to be formed, using the previous resistance as support for a continuation up. It's just too clean, right? Previous resistance, using it as support for a continuation up. That's just too clean market structure on the higher time frame to not see buys if it does keep flipping bullish and breaking the highs. But knowing that we're at the daily high without a bottom wick on over here, both could play out. So I would wait until we break below these levels and then get like, where's my marker at? This. Because if it does, we're coming all the way back down to at least here. So you have 20 pips before, 30 pips before you go break even. Look at these areas with no bottom wicks. But if this does start coming up to flip and break the daily high, another 5-minute closure, no top wick here. If this comes down first and then flips bullish, I mean, that's just clean. So if you have moving averages on your screen, you can start to look for moving averages for rejections and look at moving averages for wick entries. And you can start looking for things like that. And you're saying, holy shit, price is driving and we just tapped a moving average, and we're kind of slowing down here. You can start to think in your head, okay, cool, maybe this moving average is, damn, what is this 5 minute doing? Is that the 5 money printer? I think that is. I have a sell stop. Damn, is it gonna let me? No, that just invalidated the money printer. Or did it? It did. That's the top wick for the 5. It did. No me digas. Yeah, this looks cleaner on every time frame for it to flip bullish and keep driving. Got 3 minutes. If this 15 closes above all this ranges with a nice top wick, bottom wick on the next one, then flip, we can take an entry. If not, calling it. 5 minute. 5 minute. Ah. A re-break of the high there would be tricky. It's straight to Rocco around, it's tricky. And trend lines don't work. That wick entry off the trend line would have gave you a nice 13 pip scalp, my boy. The wick entry off that trend line on futures would have gave you a 25 pip scalp, my boy. It's just too close to these higher time frame closures. That's just too clean, man. This is the entry we were looking at earlier. The same exact move right here is what we were looking at earlier. You see how you can't deviate from your setups? You just have to keep taking the same setups over and over and over and over and over. No matter what. Can't be a bitch. And if you're missing out on the trade and you're not able to get your entry, it is what it is. This 15 closes when on top wick in the next 1 minute. That's trash. But were we wrong about the analysis? No. We're just in massive ranges. And we can't hold that much drawdown. So today, basically, I'm break even for the day. For the session, I'm down 40 pips, but for the day, I'm break even. Actually, up 8 pips for the day. What's that? 60 minus 50 plus 10, so I'm up 20 pips for the day. Right? 30 plus 30 is 60. Minus 50 plus 10. Yeah. I'm up 20 pips. Thoughts on SPX? On bullish. 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 every time frame is bullish, but you're at resistance. Tough. No bottom wick. At resistance, I'd wait for the pullback, confirmation of support being formed, and then buy to all-time highs. What do you see here? Every candle, top wick, bottom wick, top wick, bottom wick, top wick, bottom wick, top wick, bottom wick. This candle has no bottom wick. This candle has no top wick. We could just be coming up to grab a top wick, fake out, and then come down to grab a bottom wick for this area. Don't want to get faked out there. All right, 15-minute just closed. The 15-minute closed bullish. Yeah, I'm calling it. Fuck it.
Quick question, Eddie. You think this is going to push to all-time highs again?
Probably.
Or would sales be interesting now? Since
Last time that we
it's,
pushed off a low to all-time highs, we drove 500 pips. And so far, this move is only 250 pips. Gold has proven in the past it's driven
30 pips away on spot. No?
Right. So there is a high probability. So it depends. What do we know about highs? If this is the high, the official high, before gold starts to make its way down, we're likely going to come back up to retest one of these levels up here in this range before coming down. So right now we're finally breaking into that all-time high range. So if we can confirm closures and breaks back into this range, yeah, very highly likely that we're going to come back to all-time highs or anywhere in this area to reject back down. Usually when you create the high, price eventually makes a lower high. So where is this lower high going to be if this is the high? So if this is the high, we could be looking to catch the lower high. So we have major levels like here, here. So we have like targets anywhere in this range. It's only 20 pips of range though before all-time highs.
Yeah, that's why I was asking, because I'm looking for possible sells. If it touches the all-time high and then comes back down to retrace.
Yeah, it's definitely possible. Because if this is the lower high rate and you're getting this starting to form, you could take sells once you see confirmation of that lower high. This area is just tricky because the way gold is, it could just say fuck that and bounce off this area back to all-time highs and keep fucking flipping.
Yeah, that's where it rejected the last time.
That's why I like to take my breakout. So I wait for this to happen on the higher time frame, and then on the smaller time frame, I wait for the 1 minute to do this. And then I look for this on the higher time frame, and then this on the lower time frame at key levels, and that's how I start taking my entries.
Okay, nice. I mean, it looks like it's pushing up again.
Hold on, I can't hear anything. Say it again.
Sorry, I was saying. Thanks. It looks like it's pushing up again.
Yeah. Looks like we're re-breaking highs here.
Yeah, it
But
just broke the highs and
yeah,
coming down and retesting to come back up again. I mean, the 15 created a top wick first, came back down, and so I mean, it's bearish, but it's not looking too bearish. It's a big push that we've had, so it might still keep pushing.
Say it again.
I'm seeing it bearish right now on the 5 and the 15, but it might repeat the retest and then push back up.
Yeah, on the 1 minute, it just looks like it's gonna keep flying up.
Thank you.
What is this gonna do here? So that is about 33 pips till all-time highs. So if we are going to create that lower high, we would be rejecting this level. That's a massive bearish order block like the ICT people trade or the order block people trade. Massive order block. Massive reaction off this level. I'm calling it. Have a wonderful day, everybody. I'm gonna stay on the charts and hang out for a little bit after, but I gotta roll. 3-hour stream. I think that's pretty savage. A lot of price action tonight. Have a wonderful night, everybody. Drop a like. Minus 40 pips tonight. No big deal. We'll make it back. Take it easy, everybody.